welcome to another week. I was thinking about what I might go live with this week, and it came to me pretty quickly. My mom, my wonderful mother, who many of you know, graduated, or didn't graduate, she graduated to her 83rd year of life. She celebrated her 83rd year of, 83rd birthday last week. So I was thinking to myself, what three insights have I picked up from my mom? And I'd like to offer them to you now because it's really important for us as we interact with people in all kinds of relationships, especially our moms and dads and aunts and uncles and those people that have done life a whole lot longer than us. What are some things that are really important that you take away from that? And I would just share a couple insights with you. So the first insight would be the importance and the power of our faith in believing in something bigger. My mom and my dad as well have a very, very strong faith that I know has supported them through a lot of challenges and a lot of difficulties. And we learn the importance of that, right? Understanding your faith, practicing your faith as best you can. I'll recall when me or some of my brothers, maybe more of my brothers, I don't know, they'll disagree, but we would sleep in on Sunday, maybe after having a few too many beers at Frank's Pub on Saturday night. We said, well, we're going to go to the 12 o'clock Mass, Mom. We're going to go to the noon Mass. And in most cases, I believe we did go to the noon Mass, if my recollection serves me correctly. I guess a few times we might have skipped and gone to Valley Forge Park or something. At any rate, my mom knew the importance of that, and she kind of was like a detective growing up as well. So we would come home from church, and she would ask us who said Mass, and she would watch our reaction. And we kind of got onto it, and then we realized we had to kind of be prepared for this. And then she would often ask us, usually opposite one another, not together, if we saw one of her friends in Mass. Did you see Mrs. So-and-so there, or Mrs. So-and-so? Knowing full well that woman was not at the 12 noon Mass because my mom had seen her at the 9 o'clock Mass. So she was quite pertinent and persistent about making sure that we got our practice of our faith in. So first insight, really practice your faith. The second insight I picked up from my mom is really the importance of having strong relationships with your family and with your friends. Over the years, I have watched her with all of us, 8 kids we have, right? I have one sister and then 6 brothers, 7 boys under her. And just in awe of my mom's commitment to her family and her friends. Definitely something that I learned from her. Another thing I learned from her, and this really, I guess this would be number 4. I'm not going to include that. It just kind of came across me. I learned that when you're cutting the grass and you're on the lawnmower or you're pushing it, that if you say something, another person can hear it, but you can't hear them yelling at you on the lawnmower. So I think my mom taught me a little bit about that, how sound travels. Because I'll recall, I was cutting the grass and we had to push, and my dad was very much into the grass. It looked like Augusta National at our house a whole lot. And I was cutting the grass, and I really didn't want to be cutting the grass. I wanted to be up at my friend Jimmy Mack's house swimming, because that's where all my buddies were. And my mom poked her head out the laundry room door, I remember, and the mower wasn't on. I was emptying the bag or whatever, and I said, I don't want to do this. Somebody else should do it. What about my other brothers or whatever? She said, you cut the grass. I said, I want to go to Jimmy swimming or whatever. She said, you cut that grass right now. All we do for you or whatever. So I started the lawnmower up, and I pulled it with a lot of anger and everything else, and I told my mom, now the lawnmower's running, and my mom's still looking at me, and I didn't know about sound then, so I didn't know that it traveled over the lawnmower. I don't think she could hear me, and I told her what I thought about cutting the grass, and it's certainly something that nobody should ever say to their mother. And when I did, her face just changed, and I was terrified, and she pointed this crooked finger at me. She's got the arthritis, and we always laugh. She points that crooked. When she points a crooked finger at you, and she bites your tongue, you're done. Game over. And that's what I saw. And fear just overcame my entire body. And she came at me and she was pointing that finger into my chest. She told me to shut down the mower and get up to my room and wait for my father to come home. Now, my dad loves grass, right? So imagine my dad now, after a hard day of work, pulls into the driveway and sees the lawnmower sitting with nobody around it, in a half-cut square of grass of the yard. He came in. I heard some things exchanged between him and my mom. Next thing you know, he's up in my room. And again, a little fearful. And he communicated to me that I should not and should never say anything like that to my mother again. And I got the message. So a couple things I picked up, right? Have a strong faith. It'll help to get us through the challenges in life. And be strong in your relationships with your family and your friends, from my mom. And the third thing that really just kind of piggybacks right off of them is love. My mom had grown up and has now such a selfless love where she puts everybody else first. So thank you, Mom, for all these wonderful years. Happy 83rd, and I wish you many, many more and love you a ton. Take care, everybody. Have a great